They probably had typhus or other.
Huh?
They probably had typhus or and dysentery or whatever.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're so heartbroken. We took them as best we can out of the prison camp. And the town close by, they all had souvenirs. Human skin of Jews on the shade of the lamp, soap in the bathroom, and it says, Juif, Juden. Terrible. We took them all out, put them in the prison camp, took the people, our people, took them out, put them in the homes. Later on, we took them out of the home and took the SS troops that we did get and put them in the prison camp. Some of them even, they got on their knees and started praying to God.
The Germans.
Yeah, not very human. Terrible, terrible. And you could see the ovens there. They used to march them in naked. I saw you had a picture there. That's the prelude.
Yeah.
They got to take off all their belongings, all the rings, their shoes, their clothes. Everything was salvaged. So Germany could prosper. Everything was sold.
Incredible.
Anyway, it was a terrible thing. After that, the 82nd, not the 82nd, the 1st Airborne and us enveloped whatever it was, and we got to Dachau, another prison camp. And then from there, we conquered everything in the sight. We went through the forest. And in the forest, by that time, we had radio shells in our 105. So we could do very, very precision shelling. Above the trees, about 10 feet. They're all hiding under the trees. And they all stayed there.
The Germans.
Yeah. Hutkin Forest. Then from there we went to Ingolstadt. There was no more fighting. And it was all over with. And peace treaties were being discussed and things like that. And there was thousands of Germans trying to give up to us. We don't want them. Keep going. Keep sending them on their way. We don't want to feed them. We don't want to take care of them. And we don't want them as our prisoners because they were afraid of the Russians. They claimed the Russians were wild. Real wild.
They would have killed them.
Yeah. So they made their way towards Berlin. Anyway, we got together, and in Ingolstadt, they had barracks. So we took over their barracks, and we sent the enemy to prison camps. And we were at peace for a while. And then from there, we went to the Elbe River, where we met the Russians. That was our dividing line.
Yeah.
They wanted to cross, and we wanted to go across. They invited us to a vodka party. A lot of guys went. And they called us bourgeois. And we're not bourgeois. We're just working people. They thought all Americans were rich, nobody worked. Very misinformed. And they really weren't our friends. After the party, coming back, we saw they set up mines. Some of our guys got killed. So my general gave an order. Any Russians on our part of the river, shoot them. Don't let them get away. We don't allow any Russians on our territory. And that's the way it was.
Did you go to another camp, prison camp, Buchenwald?
Huh?
Did
no,
you?
No,
Huh?
I've mentioned Buchenwald.
You did,
I
but
didn't.
it wasn't. The two prison camps were
Yeah.
Dachau.
And then we had
Which were the two prison camps?
Nordhausen,
Nordhausen
and
and-
Dachau.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're being cross-trained on how to take care of a riot. And we all got shotguns. And if they start making any trouble, we're on line to stop it. And then they started making ideas for rotation. I had 136 points, which is a lot of points. And my captain wanted to give the sergeancy to his driver. The Southern boys that knew me as a sergeant. I was acting as a sergeant, but I didn't have the
You
stripes,
didn't have the stripes.
but they took them off. So they made a big hullabaloo, and the captain gave in. I was sergeant again. Now, I don't know if it was spite or what. They were sent home. I was sent to Africa,
Wow.
Dakar.
This would have been
And-
what year then by that time? 'Cause you went in
1944, 45,
Just
yeah.
before the war ended.
yeah, 45. Yeah. And we'll be shipped home from there. In the meantime, there were big prison camps there, and the sergeants were in charge, no officers. All the officers were counterintelligence, CIC. Sergeant French, bring me Hans Muller. He's in Stalag 36. I grab him, bring him to the front and center. Wanted for bank robberies in Philadelphia. That's how Hitler got his money. And day after day, on duty, they're all prison. They're crooks. They rob banks. That's how Germany got all that money. And they were buying ammunition in our country.
That's so incredible.
Then we changed our currency with the medallion with a gold seal. So that'll stop. Through other countries, it was shipped to them all along. Yeah. And after all the mishmash, I like to get even also. But we're not allowed to show it. I had a man servant, a dog robber we call him. He was Austrian. He hated the Germans, what they did to his people.
Oh, yeah.
So as they're coming in from other prison camps, and they dismount the trucks, we asked them to line up. They line up in ranks of 5. We don't. We line up in ranks of 4. And I said, 4, nichts finden. I gave him a stick. Everyone that's number 5, hit him on the head. I didn't. He didn't. Anyway, that was it. If I'm near the end, nothing else to tell, except I used to take a truck, go behind the lines, and the breweries made liquor, schnapps, and they made beer. So we got our prisoners that we had to make pretzels. I got flour from the Negro battalions. The black battalions, they were hauling in supplies, and they were very glad to give us. And I used to invite them to our parties, beer and pretzels.
That hit the spot.
And officers they only got the whiskey. Nobody else. Yeah. And we stayed there, and we had Red Cross music. We organized a band from the SS, and we gave them a theme song. Don't fence me in.
That's me.
And we'd laugh our sides off. And the Wehrmacht, they had a band, and they'd play music, what do you call it? The waltzes.
The waltzes, yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? And they'd entertain us.
Strauss?
Eh?
Strauss?
Strauss. The Strauss waltzes.
Oh, Strauss.
Yeah. And that's how we got along.
Good catch, Rachel.
And then when it came my turn, they flew us to Dakar, and from Dakar to Natal, Brazil. Before we could get to Brazil, we were only 300 miles from Dakar. One of our engines fell right off.
Oh, wow.
We just made it back to Dakar. Overnight, they changed the engine.
God, that was a close call.
Huh?
Close call.
Yeah. And we finally made it to Natal. We got to Natal, we got into the commercial airliners who were not drilled for war like at all. And I've always had ambitions of being in the Air Force. They wanted me in the artillery because I could measure, I could calculate. So they wanted me there.
You had your specialty.
Yeah. So the pilot heard about it. He says, come over, take over. So I took over.
Wow.
And I really got a kick out of it. And it's a bigger plane than I was ever familiar with. Yeah. And finally we got to Natal. We got to Natal. We got into the smaller planes and shipped us to Miami. Shipped us to Miami. We got a big homecoming. All the officers that were stationed there came rushing to us. You got souvenirs?
Yeah.
I had
That
a
was
P.
probably 45, huh? 1945?
Yeah. I had a P-38
Ah.
and a Luger that I captured. Yeah. I sold them both right away. What do I need a gun for? Yeah. And I would get injured and I would take it accidentally. And before you get to the States, you got to disable it. I never disabled mine. It was an active weapon, very usable, and loaded. So I sold each one for $100. Today, it's way over $1,000. Anyway, we got finally flown to Fort Dix and discharged. Discharges were made up very hastily. I don't even have a third of the information in my discharge papers, just that it's honorable. And that I was in North Africa, and it doesn't say too much. And that's it. But my points were there, 136 points. And I'm still at odds over that. All that work, not recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
was a
we
lot.
got
That was
home
gonna be-
finally. And got home sick as a dog. I went into the service 150 pounds. I came out 136.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it bothered me mentally. I wouldn't give in to it.
Oh, wait. Let's
Is
stop
that
for a minute.
yours?
Yeah.
Is that mine?
Oh. I thought I should take that off the hook. Hello? Yeah. 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 You want to talk to her? Hold on a minute. I gotta shut that other one off.
Hi, Miriam?
What's making all that noise?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I had two phones. Oh, I didn't stop this.
Okay, are you all done?
I
Oh,
didn't
just
stop it.
arrived. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm ready. You got back to Miami.
We got back to Miami, and we're really happy. At least we're not too far away from home. My two buddies were Italians, and I had more battles than they had, and more battle experience. And they wanted me, after I see my family, to meet them in Asbury Park. They have a nightclub there, which their father was taking care of, and I would be their official bouncer.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were very friendly, and I never did see them again. We got discharged from Fort Dix. We got home,
So it was probably 1945 when you got discharged?
yeah, and then I got back to Nolats Avenue, where my mother lived. I was single, and after getting nourishing food for about 3 days, it looks like I came
picked-
back to myself again.
Back to your normal weight, huh?
And I had to go to see Rachel. I had a V-mail and pictures which my sister-in-law sent me. So I had to
Pictures of
meet
Rachel.
there.
Was
and
she in a bathing suit?
No,
No.
I don't look good in the bathing suit.
So we're one step above the Hasidim. No, we don't show. No bathing suits. Yeah. And then we met, and the following day I went back to work. My
What?
job was held to me. I worked in the Bronx.
Wait, what kind of job did you have? I didn't.
I was in the engineering department because I was the only one in the shop that could read blueprints. Yeah. And
Where did you go to school to learn that? To reading blueprints? Or did you pick?
Harran High School. We had an aviation course.
This in New York.
Yeah, and I used to make model airplanes from blueprints.
Wow.
That's how I groomed into it.
Wow.
Anyway,
You were a natural for that.
yeah. I went back to work, and they're all Germans, but they're Americans.
Yeah.
No bad stuff against us. Yeah. And they knew I was Jewish. I was made, what do you call it, the shop chairman,
Shop steward?
because I represented the union. Yeah. And the foreman didn't have the big say. Whatever he thought, he'd discuss it with me. Then I'd say, okay, you can say that.
Okay.
And that's how we kept control. And everybody worked hard. And we made gasoline pumps for every company. Yeah. And about a month later, we got wind that one of my father's friends was going to sell his store. It's a hot dog ice cream parlor like, right on the corner on Pitkin Avenue and Rockaway. Very
Is
busy
that in
corner.
Brooklyn? Where?
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
yeah. And
Do you know where 2315 Avenue M would be? I had a
Sure.
cousin there that lived there. And when I was stationed in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, I'd come in every weekend to 2315 Avenue M.
yeah,
I don't know how far that
Yes.
was from you.
south of us, yeah. And
Where did
Yeah.
Rachel live?
huh?
Where did Rachel live?
So it was 1835, 59th Street.
Hey, she remembers.
I still remember the address.
Does Rachel remember that?
Bensonhurst.
You
It was-
remember the
It was an
address?
Italian neighborhood. Yeah. And
Is it a Jewish neighborhood?
no,
Was not, huh?
Italian.
What was mixed, Charlie? 50-50.
Okay.
56. Anyway, The father had a fruit and vegetable store.
Who, Rachel's father?
Yeah, a block away. And that was it. That's how we met the family. Yeah. And then we got married.
3 months later.
3 months after you met?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rachel was young. How old would Rachel have been?
I was 22.
22? Ah. And Charlie was how old?
25.
25. That's perfect.
Then we worked the store. We bought it. And we worked hard.
He bought the store,
Bought the grocery.
the hot dog
Hot-
and ice cream store that belonged to his father's friend who wanted to sell it. So he bought it with my brother,
Oh,
partners. Go ahead.
There was a lot of
Sorry.
hardship, a lot of fast sales. We had 2 bus stops, one on Pitkin Avenue, one on Rockaway Avenue. And we worked like crazy. Very busy. If you raced the bus, which we had to, if you asked for a drink, you put it on the counter, the bus pulled away. It's too late. So we had to work quick.
you mean to sell the hot dogs real fast?
Yeah. So I liked the idea. We were so busy, just days.
Hey, I'd like to get before, if you don't mind. Sorry for interrupting.
Kind of what?
But, let's see. Give each other a kiss. Let me take that.
Oh, we're going to get
Hey,
lipstick on.
good. That's nice. Okay. Let's see. What else can you guys say? 'Cause I only have.
Well, we got married
Yeah.
and had 2 sons.
Tell me about what they're doing now.
Well, one son is a process server.
A
He
work
had-
processor.
Yeah, he had a business which he lost. He had it
Okay.
in the garment line. He lost it. A lot of these,
Yeah, most of our people were in the garment line.
Garment. Huh?
Yeah.
my other son was a chiropractor. He passed away
When?
2 years ago
Boy,
at the age of 52.
that's so young. My
Yeah.
gosh. What was cause of death?
We don't know. He didn't like to go to doctors.
But he
And
was a chiropractor.
he was a chiropractor,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
He says he's a doctor. He didn't feel good, and he's doctoring himself. And he wouldn't go to a doctor. Finally, he was so sick, he agreed to let us. He was divorced, so we were, the only ones he had, really.
Did he have children?
Yeah, but they were young. They were 19 and 17. Yeah, and they were with the mother.
Okay.
And so we finally talked to
I mean,
him.
that's how old they are now?
No, they are now,
It was at that time they were 19 or 17?
21 now and 19.
Where do they live?
They live in Phoenix and,
Glendale.
no, Avondale.
Avondale.
Avondale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very
That's-
stubborn. He just wouldn't, we couldn't talk him into going. He was suffering for a year at least. And he thought it was ulcers. And it sounded like it, and like a dummy, I agreed with him. It sounds like ulcers. So he was treating himself. But, I mean, you can't. You have to take tests now to determine what you have. You don't just guess what you have.
Right.
So finally he couldn't take the pain anymore. He says, okay. He says, I'll go to a doctor. And I told him, you're not going to a doctor. You're going to the hospital. Because he looked awful. It was terrible. He had no health insurance either. I assured him, I'll pay. We'll pay. We'll pay for a doctor visit. No. We'll pay for the hospital. Don't worry about it. Well, he went to the hospital, and they found he had a 10-centimeter mass on his liver. He had a mass on his spleen.
This is cancer, right? Did they diagnose it as cancer?
Well, they didn't
No.
know because the contrast was not good. They said they have to stabilize him, then they'll do a biopsy.
They were very fuzzy, the x-rays.
Yeah. Anyway, his liver
Oh.
was bad.
So
His
there's things you don't know.
what else? His kidneys were bad. All these things, and He was in the hospital 10 hours. And we went home. We said, we'll see him in the morning. 2 hours later, we get a call from the hospital. Passed away. What was it? I don't know. They think maybe something inside burst. Charlie did not want an autopsy. So he had all these things wrong with him, but what actually, well, hypotension. His pressure went down to nothing. What else? Cardiac arrest. Everything happened to him.
Where's your other son?
He lives in Staten Island, New York.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're almost done, so we got to.
Oh, you're taking all this? Oh, wow.
I'm getting it off.
Yeah. Well, you edit, right? Yeah. All right.
I don't.
My other son, yeah, he has no children, and
so you have two grandchildren.
I have 3 grandchildren, two
Three.
boys and a daughter, and a girl. The girl.
And a great
That
grand.
was your chiropractor's son's
That was-
children.
Yeah, yeah. He was doing very well as a chiropractor. He was.
And he practiced in Phoenix.
Yeah, he practiced in Phoenix. He was getting rich. They made so much money. Suddenly,
Good.
everything turned
He
around.
grossed 3 years in a row $1 million each year.
All
No
right.
kidding.
Suddenly, everything
Worked very hard.
turned around.
Like his daddy was a hard worker.
And
Yeah. His wife wanted a divorce. Problem
Oh, he
with the
wanted
kids.
a divorce
Yeah, they would. He was
after the
divorced.
kids were born.
Well, no, they were. How old were they?
and is very good natured.
15-ish.
Those that can't afford it, they only charge him $10.
Anyway,
and he'll take care of
yeah.
them. Yeah.
He had his own practice.
Yeah, he had his own practice.
He
yeah.
was not in with a group.
No, his own,
Okay.
his own. And
Okay, I want to thank you guys for
you're welcome.
being interviewed.
Our
And
pleasure.
I think we're doing great. We only got 2 minutes or a minute left.
Well, it's our pleasure. We enjoy doing this.
Good.
Of course, some of the things Charlie said were not enjoyable, but
But they were important.
we hope it'll be helpful for whatever
Thank you.
you're doing, what to do with it.
It will be. It
Yeah.
will be. It will be.
2 minutes left. 1
So
minute
Charlie is part of my collection now.
left.
I'm so glad I'm doing, in addition to survivors, liberators. I think that's important. And also righteous people. You probably saw one of them at the library. I only did one
Yeah,
righteous
yeah.
person.
If you want to
Bless you.
locate other liberators, did you want to locate others?
Sure.
I believe Gross, Arnie Gross. Do you know Arnie Gross? He was a member of 210. In fact, he was commander. Maybe it was before your time, because it
No,
goes
I don't-
back about 10 years at least.
Well, we've been here 11 years. I've been in this studio 11 years.
Yeah, but how about the Post? The
The
JW.
oh no, just
No.
maybe 5
Yeah.
or 6.
He was a liberator, no? He said he was, I don't know. And of course the big liberator who was in, he passed away. He was with the 101st Division, or the 1st Division. Also doing everything that Charlie did, he passed away. He was commander of the post for years.
I don't remember.
What post? 94?
No,
What
210.
Post? Oh, 210?
210. Milt Geller. Yeah, but he passed
I
away.
didn't know him. No,
No,
I didn't.
I don't think you did.
Trying to think who was commander when I joined.
Arnie Gross?
Izzy was there.
No, but he wasn't commander.
Huh? No, I know
No.
Izzy was. I forgot to get Carl. Who's Carl?
Oh, Carl Spiegel.
Carl Spiegel.
Yeah,
Was he
I don't
commander?
know.
He
But
was when I joined.
He's gone. Yeah,
He's gone too.
he's gone. I don't know if he...
Funny thing is, he was where my grandparents lived.
Who, Carl?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
Oh, in
Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia.
Yeah. Well, if you really want more liberators,